Lily!
Well, maybe we should have gone by the house. She could have already called.
I didn't want to upset your family, and I was so sure that she'd be here.
Try not to worry, Josh. She's run away before and come home safe. She will again when she's ready.
Well, I hope she gives her old man a break and gets ready soon. God, it's beautiful here, isn't it?
When I was little, I used to envy people with money so much. You know, their swimming pools and their vacation places and all. I never saw how beautiful it was right here.
Most people don't know what they have until it's gone.
You're thinking about Betsy, aren't you?
Not really. Mama!
I'm in here, Caleb.
Mama, where's Seth driving off to? I thought he was supposed to help me out in the fields this morning.
He's driving to Wisconsin.
What's he doing, helping Betsy move?
No, I think he might stay on a little longer than that. He found a cabin very close to Betsy's.
Mama, how long is he going to be gone?
Well, for as long as it takes him to finish his new novel.
But, Mama, how am I supposed to do...
Caleb! Now, Seth has contributed enough to this family since your father died, and I'm not going to let this farm rob him of the one thing he wants to do in his life. Now, if we can't manage, I'll just divide the farm between the 6 of you and have done with it right now.
No, Mama, look. I don't want that to happen. I'm going to do everything I can to keep things going, okay? Don't worry.
I know you will. You know, it's a funny thing, but this should fall on you now. You're the only one of my boys who didn't want to have anything to do with this farm.
Yeah. Well, I've changed. I don't feel that way anymore.
Yes, I can see that. Maybe this is where you'll find your little ornery self. Maybe here you'll find out what you really want to do with your life.
Oh, listen, any word from Lily?
Nope.
You know, I still can't figure out Holden jumping like that when Mr. Lang called and leaving before he found Lily.
I think he did the right thing. You know, there has to be a distance between them now, I think. Think about what happened to them and where to go from here.
Yes, the meeting went very well, Rex. Yeah, well, I think they'll come through with the grant. Well, I'm going to drive out to Southampton a little later. And I want to thank you for giving me the time off. Yeah. Okay, all right. Bye-bye. Lily?
Hi.
Lily, what are you doing here?
All the way. So good to see you.
What happened?
It's Holden. Thought I could try to talk some sense into him, but when he came down to the stables, he went nuts. He got so crazy and so jealous. He beat up Spence. There was no reason for him to beat up Spence.
Wait a minute. You ran away? So nobody knows where you are?
I called Lucinda yesterday so that she would know I was all right. I tried to call her out at work, but Holden picked up the phone. So I hung up. Why does he always do this?
I don't know. I mean, I talked to him right before he left, and he said that he was going to put things right. With you, I don't understand, Lily. I just wish you would have stayed to talk to him, that's all.
There's no sense in trying to talk sense into Holden. It won't work.
Well, I want you to call the farm right now and let everybody know that you're okay.
Hello?
Caleb, it's Lily.
Lily, where are you?
I'm in New York with Iva. I just wanted to call and make sure no one was worrying about me.
Yeah, well, everybody's worried about you.
I'm sorry. Is Holden there?
No, I'm sorry, he's not.
Well, he's probably out looking for me. When he gets back, please have him call me here.
I'm afraid, Holden got a call from Mr. Lang this morning. He's gone.
The Emmy Award-winning As the World Turns. This portion brought to you today by Scope. For a positive reaction, unleash the power of Scope.
When did Holden leave?
This morning, a few hours ago.
Was there some kind of emergency?
No, I don't think so. But, Lily, Holden looked all over for you. He felt really bad about what happened. Do you want me to give you the Lang's number?
Listen, I can't think right now. I'll get it from you later.
Caleb, there's probably a lot of people worried about Lily, so will you call everyone and let them know that she's all right?
Sure. Iva, Mama wants to talk to you. Hold on.
Iva? Hi, sweetheart. How's Lily?
Well, she's exhausted from driving, but I haven't got the whole story yet.
Oh, Caleb didn't tell Lily, and I think she should know that Holden didn't want to go on this trip. You know, he only agreed to it because it was an emergency, and Craig wasn't around to handle it.
Well, it really doesn't matter now, as long as she can talk to Holden in Chicago.
Well, he's not in Chicago. He took a tour of the Lang's factories in the South. He's in North Carolina.
How long is he going to be gone?
He wasn't sure, but he really had to go, Iva. Otherwise, Mr. Lang threatened to cancel the contract if he didn't. Have you heard from Jared Carpenter?
No, but I've called several times, and the housekeeper will not put me through. So I'm going to rent a car and drive out there.
Oh, that's very strange. I mean, if he's the right Jared Carpenter, I can't believe that he's forgotten this family or he doesn't remember who you are. Well, listen, I feel so much better to know that Lily's with you. And you take good care of her. You're here, and you both of you hurry home soon.
All right, Mama, I will. Bye-bye.
You know, you're right. It was wrong for me to run away. You know, I used to get so upset when Meg would say that I was spoiled. I am spoiled. I'm going to call Holden at the Langs.
Lily, he's not there. He's at the furniture factory, the Lang Furniture Factory in North Carolina. But you have other important calls to make, and I think you can start with Josh.
Right.
Okay.
I will.
I don't know where else to look.
Well, maybe we should go back to the farm. I mean, she might be with Holden already. I hope so. They deserve happiness after all they've been through.
So do you.
Oh, I'm beginning to think happy endings only happen in fairy tales.
Well, don't say that. You see, I can remember a night not that long ago when you thought your life was really hopeless. You thought your marriage was over, and look how you've turned things around. Tonio's back. He's not seeing Emily. You're having his baby.
My marriage is far from perfect. I mean, just the other day, I thought he was having another affair. I don't have to tell you how jealous and suspicious he is.
I think he's jealous because he can sense what we mean to each other.
No. I mean, if he thought that, he'd kill you. I don't know what he'd do to me.
Well, then maybe we shouldn't see each other for a while.
Don't say that. I mean, I don't want to stop seeing you. I don't know what I would have done without you through all of this. I need you.
Caleb, why didn't you tell Lily that Holden was in North Carolina?
I guess I just didn't want to make things worse. Look, I'll call Rod and Mrs. Dixon now.
Caleb Snyder, I think that you and I are going to have a little talk here.
Meg? Hello, anybody home?
We're in here, Tonio.
Hello, Emma. I'm looking for Meg. She's not at the hospital. I thought she might be here.
Thank you.
Just read the Reynolds contract. You are very crafty.
Lucinda, I promised to get back to Peter Jansen about the division meeting. Can you see him this afternoon?
Look, you're not going to be able to do any work until you hear about Lily. Why don't you go home until you hear something?
Go home. The police are on their way right now. Could we please get some work done around here?
Absolutely. Okay, Jane. I want you to check with legal, get the payment schedule for the Auerbach deal. Plug those figures into my memo to Ed Risner. That and the updated production report have to be out before noon.
Oh, goody. That gives me a whole half hour.
Oh, I'm glad to see that you've recovered from the torments of unrequited love. Did the telephone call from Adelaide Fitzgibbon reinflate your male ego?
You don't miss a trick, do you?
I'm just very interested that you, too, would still be on speaking terms.
Well, I don't believe in burning bridges. I hope that if you and I ever part company, we'll stay friends, too.
You and I? I'm not Adelaide. And you and I have never been lovers, darling. Just how close are you two these days?
Close.
Fitzgibbon is a competitor. I'd hate to think that we had a conflict of interest around here. And Dusty is working for Fitzgibbon in London. Is there anything about that deal that you'd like to tell me?
I never mentioned Dusty to Adelaide. The manager of the London office is an old friend of mine. I did write a letter of introduction for Dusty. But I sure didn't see this coming.
Lucinda, Detective Franklin's here.
Hi, Roy. Hi,
Hello. How kind of you to come
Oh,
around.
no problem. Well, we got a report that Lily's missing. Can you tell me what happened?
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you have a
Down
seat here? Lily and Holden Snyder had an argument. Lily took off. She did call to say that she was all right. She talked to Mrs. Walsh, but she didn't tell her where she was.
Sort of a repeat of last summer when she ran off Wyoming.
Right.
I'm hoping that you fellows will have better luck at finding her this time.
I put a private investigator on the case, but he hasn't been able to trace her yet.
All right, well, if you give me a description of the car, I'll put on an APB on it.
All right, she's driving a silver sports car, Illinois license plate LWS 823.
Well, you seem to be right on top of things, Mr. Anderson.
I was thinking the same thing.
We must get Lilith to the castle so that Tobias and I can evaluate her condition.
I've invited her, but she's refused to come. Perhaps she's no interest in having her mental condition evaluated.
Maybe her story about Dr. Silvestri is true, Duncan.
If I could believe that, I'd file for divorce now and spend the rest of my life making all this up to Shannon. As it is, I have to do all I can to keep her at arm's length from Lilith.
How? Now that Shannon's agreed to decorate Lilith's hotel suite.
I dropped by there yesterday unannounced in order to try and force Shannon to leave, which she did after hurling some bitter insults my way. But I'm afraid it only increased Lilith's suspicion. She outright accused me of having been Shannon's lover.
I hope you denied it.
Mrs. McKechnie is here to see you.
Duncan,
Lilith, what brings you here?
I thought it would be nice to see Sister Teresa and Tobias again. Hello, Miss Griffin. Hard at work as usual. Do you devote this much time to all of your clients? Duncan, I've cleared my schedule. I'm going to devote the entire day to getting reacquainted with my husband. I had a very difficult time getting here. Luckily, I had a sketch of the island, or I never would have found you after I left Portugal.
Just how did you find me after you left Portugal, Lilith?
I'm sure Lilith's got the address from Dr. Silvestri's records.
Oh, no. Dr. Silvestri was far too possessive to help me. I got it from my brother Roderick in Egypt. We had a lovely reunion in Alexandria. He had a lot of information about you and your island. I assume he got it from his old friend, James Stenbeck.
Oh, darling, I am so relieved to hear from you. When are you coming home? Now, Earl, look, I demand, as your wife, that you tell me more about this investigation. Oh, of course, I love you. I love you more than anything else in the whole world. You know that. But, Earl, I... Dear.
Hi, come in, come in. Dan and I have just been to the minister's. We've been talking about the ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no way that she can get out of it now. Between that and Tom bringing Margot home, boy, I am one happy man.
Oh, yes. Isn't it wonderful, Tom and Margot and the baby?
That little guy couldn't be born into a nicer family.
I know.
Well, I got to get to the cop shop, as Margot used to call it. Have a nice lunch.
Thank you for bringing me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, sit down. I've got to ask you something. Now, this is just between us, but don't you think it really is rather odd that, that Margot, when she found out she was pregnant, left Tom? I mean, that's a heck of a time for a woman to leave her husband, don't you think?
Well, Lisa, I wondered about it at first, too. And then I tried to put myself in Margot's place, and it made sense. She'd been through such an unsettling time, and trying to work things out with Tom and deal with the Leanne situation and so on. She must have felt herself trapped when she found out she was pregnant, and knowing that Tom would never let her go if he knew, she just left so she could think things through.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Well, anyway, the important thing is they'll all be here for the wedding. Shannon!
Hi, Shannon.
What is all this stuff?
Oh, some personal things for Isabella's terrace.
Food. Yes, food.
I have just been ordering some palm trees and hanging plants for her terrace.
Palm trees? Darling, they're going to be frostbitten in a month.
I know. I told Isabella that, but she's obsessing a bit, and mine is not to reason why.
Isabella, stunning lady, but a little eccentric.
Yeah, I think just a tad. Oh, by the way, my long-lost husband gave me a call, and guess where he called from? Egypt.
What is my Uncle Earl doing in Egypt?
He wouldn't say, but I know he's there getting a scoop on James Stenbeck.
Thank you so much. You've been wonderful.
We'll be in touch, Priya.
Thanks again. I appreciate your help.
Yes. Caleb Snyder's on the phone, line 3.
Yes? Yes, Caleb?
Mrs. Dixon, just wanted to let you know we finally heard from Lily. She's in New York with Iva.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful you're telephoning to tell me.
Glad I could help, Mrs. Dixon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for everything. Bye-bye. Lily is in New York. She took herself all the way to New York to be with Iva, rather than come to me.
That's understandable. She knows how you feel about Holden.
Well, would you telephone Iva, please? Because I'd like to talk to Lily.
Yes.
Hi, it's Kurt. How'd your meeting with Jerry Carpenter go?
I haven't seen him yet.
Look, Caleb just called and told us that Lily was with you. I think Mrs. Walsh would like to speak with Lily.
I think Lily would like to speak to Lucinda.
Keep me posted, will you? Now hurry back home. I really miss you.
Okay.
Hi, dear.
Hi, Mom.
Darling, how'd you get yourself all the way to New York?
I drove. I knew where Iva was staying, and I was upset, and I just needed to get away. I'm sorry if I worried you.
No, your telephone call yesterday, I mean, I appreciated that because then I didn't have to worry so much. Dear, did you know when you left that Holden had gone down to North Carolina?
Yes? How did you know?
Well, I went out to the farm to tell him that you'd called me and he'd left. Baby, how I wish that you were here with me. But you are not. So, darling, I'm very glad that you have Iva there for you. Bye, dear. I love you.
I love you, too. Bye-bye. She said that she's glad that I'm here with you, but she wishes that I was home with her.
You know, I have an idea. I was going to rent a car and drive out to Southampton, but the airport's right on the way, so why don't we take your car? I'll drop you off. You can catch your flight. And I think it's more important that you get in touch with Holden.
You're right. So foolish to run away like that.
Well, I just hope you know that you're not alone. I mean, you have me and Lucinda and Grandma and Josh.
What are you thinking about?
Us. I think we're playing with fire. You're married. You're expecting a baby. I don't want to do something we're going to regret.
We won't. I just need to be with you sometimes. To talk to you.
You should be able to talk to your husband.
Well, I can't. I mean, not about the things we talk about. He doesn't understand. He thinks they're unmanly. I know he's never going to change. That's why I need you. And I thought you needed me too with Betsy gone.
That's all true, Meg. I just think with the feelings that we have for each other, that maybe we're not as in control as we like to believe we are. And you could get hurt.
The only way I'm going to get hurt is if you turn your back on me. You promise that won't happen. Come on. Come on, let's go back to the farm. I just have a feeling there's good news waiting for us there.
Yeah?
Antonio, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. She's probably just gone shopping.
Now, Pam says she left the hospital very suddenly, and she's now missed a class. That's just not like Meg.
There must be some explanation. Why don't you call Pam back? I mean, perhaps Meg's come back already.
All right.
Mama, when Tonio's done, I'll call the Lang office and I'll find out how Lily can reach Holden.
Good.
Yes, hello, Pam. It's Tonio. Has Meg returned to the hospital? All right, would you do me a favor? Would you ask her to call my service and let me know where I can reach her when you see her? All right, I'm at the farm now, but I'm heading back to my office. Thank you, Pam. Well, she hasn't gotten back to the hospital. Now she's missed 2 classes, and even Pam is concerned.
Well, I don't understand it. I mean, she did call here today. She was very worried about Lily, but she didn't say she was going anywhere.
I'm surprised that she's worried about Lily. They've never been very close. I wonder if this has anything to do with her new friendship with Rod.
Now, what does he have to do with it?
Well, he's Lily's father, and Meg seems to have developed a strange need to be in his company. It's very confusing. I don't understand it.
Well, I think it's very natural that they should be friends. I mean, after all, this lie that was between them for so long is over with.
Are you forgetting that this is the man that raped Iva?
No, I'm not forgetting that, Tonio. I'll never forget that. But I do like to feel that people are capable of change, Tonio.
Mama, anybody home?
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment.
Family Feud, starting September 19th at 5 on TV6.
And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
Meg, I've been worried about you.
Josh and I were out looking for Lily. He came by the hospital, and I was worried about Lily, so I thought that maybe I could help him.
Oh,
You know,
I
look
can
for her.
understand his concern. As a father-to-be, I can see why he'd be worried about his daughter.
Well, there was no need to worry about me.
Well, I'm not worried about you now that you're here. But when I went by the hospital and you had left suddenly, I didn't know what to think. Well, it looks like there's happy endings all around.
Does that mean you've heard from Lily?
Yes, she called a little while ago. She's with Iva in New York.
Thank
Does
goodness.
Holden know?
No, he had to leave for business for Henry Lang.
Holden left before he knew that Lily was all right?
Well, he had no choice. It was an emergency with Craig away in Europe. He was afraid that he'd lose the Lang account if he didn't go.
I have to get back into town. Do you have your own car?
No, I came out with Josh.
Oh, I see. Good, and we can go back together, can't we?
Tonio, it wasn't Meg's idea to
Oh,
come
no
out.
need to explain. No harm done. Goodbye.
See you later.
Did you talk to Lily?
Yes, I didn't really talk to her directly, but she's with Iva, so I know she's all right.
Good, good, good. Does Holden know?
No, as I said, he doesn't, but Caleb's going to find out Holden's number, and we'll be in touch. Come on out in the kitchen. I'll give you some coffee or something.
Laying furniture?
Is this Opal?
Yes, who's this?
Opal, it's your old buddy Caleb calling. How are you? I was hoping you're still running that switchboard.
Well, I haven't had any better offers. Now, how you doing, sugar? I miss that cute face and fresh mouth of yours.
I'm okay, Opal. Listen, I need you to do me a favor. Mr. Lang sent my brother Holden down south to one of the factories. I was wondering if you could give me that number.
I'll try.
Listen, it's on the QT, Opal. I'll owe you one, okay?
Caleb?
Mr. Lang?
I picked up when Opal called my secretary.
Mr. Lang, look, I don't want any trouble for Opal. I was just trying to find out Holden's number.
Fine, fine. I'd be glad to give it to you. I can't tell you how grateful I am to Holden, not only for his work, but for the way he's helped Angel.
Yeah, well, you never did understand that, Mr.
I understood perfectly. Angel was completely taken in by you. Well, Holden's opened up her eyes. Started to trust again. It's ironic, isn't it? One brother healing the wounds inflicted by the other. You can reach Holden at 919-555-3032. He and Angel should be getting in about 20 minutes.
Angel's with him?
She's grown very close to your brother, Caleb. That's what I meant when I said Holden was helping her.
So, what are you nervous about the wedding? Well, not so nervous that I'd put it off forever like you and Jessica seem to be doing. Bite the bullet, Roy. Hey, listen. We've been a foursome at golf. We could be a foursome at the altar, a double ceremony.
Mac, look, I'm sorry. Things just don't seem to be shaping up like that, all right?
Hello, Mrs. Franklin.
Oh, hi.
No, excuse me. I gotta go.
Hi, I was out shopping, and I stopped by to see Nella, and she asked me how you and Jess were doing, so I thought I'd come and find out for myself.
Oh, well, things are working a little better. I'm really trying to adjust to Jessica's career, and she's trying to adjust to me.
Sometimes, Roy, I think I've contributed to this problem. I think I've let you grow up thinking that the only thing that a woman wanted was to take care of a husband and a family.
Oh, no, Mama. You weren't president of IBM, but you brought me up just fine. And in all, the marriage between you and Dad has just been terrific.
Yes, but if I had to do it all over again, I might do some things differently. Which is the other reason why I came here. While I was at the hospital, I learned that they were looking for people to volunteer as nurses' aides. I put my name on the list.
You?
Yes, I'm not so old. And that's why I want you to come to supper tonight, to back me up. I'm making something very special to soften the blow when I tell your father.
Mom, hey, you might be starting a revolution here.
Well, I don't think it'll worry your father. I mean, he may be a little unsettled when he has to have TV dinners when I come home late.
I don't know if Pop is really ready for this.
Yes. That's why I would appreciate it if you would bring Jess with you. I mean, I need all the moral support I can get.
Oh, I haven't. Never been to Egypt? No. Where else have you been, Lilith? Oh, all over the world. Vietnam, the Iberian Peninsula.
Luncheon will be served in half an hour.
Can you?
Oh, good. I'd like to freshen up. Excuse me.
Teresa will show you the way.
It's all right. I know the way.
Well, what do you think?
Oh, I haven't observed her long enough, but she seems relaxed, very much in control.
She never mentioned Shannon.
Oh, don't pay any attention to that. That means nothing. She'd never let you know whether she was thinking of Shannon or not. She's a master at concealing her true feelings.
Well, I should get back to the office.
Would you two see to it that Lilith is occupied? I've got to discuss something with Jessica.
Certainly.
You heard what she said about her brother Roderick and James Stenbeck.
Yes, I can't wait to tell Roy.
Jessica, he can do more than that for me. Roderick, her brother, knows her better than anyone alive. In fact, he's the one that helped me find Dr. Silvestri and have her committed. I was so grateful to him that I gave him the North African distributorship of McKechnie whiskey. His offices are in Alexandria. I'd like you to go see Roderick as my representative.
You want me to go to Egypt?
I can't risk leaving Shannon alone here with Lilith. Besides, I doubt he'd open up to me anyway, but he is very susceptible to beautiful women. Go there. See if you can draw him out. Find out about Lilith's mental condition. And perhaps you'll be able to find out his friend James Stenbeck's hiding place as well. I'll tell Roderick that you're handling all my affairs. That way you'll have access to his books and records.
Duncan, I'm going to have to think about this.
I hope you'll say yes. I've entrusted you with all my secrets, Jessica. And now I may be entrusting you with my life. And Shannon's.
Thank you for another lovely lunch.
Oh,
I
you're welcome.
really enjoyed it.
Oh, me too. Thank you, Mom, for believing that Jessica and I can work this thing out.
Oh, I believe it because I know how much you two love each other.
Well, I'm on my way, Roy. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, take care now.
Ah, Miss Griffin. Well, you here on official business, or are you here to see a detective of ours?
Well, actually, a little of both, I think. I have something that I think will interest all of you.
Well, I wish I could stay to see it, but I'll tell you, I have to pick up Nancy. Ta-ta.
Jay, I am so glad to see you. You too. I am hoping that you will come to supper tonight. I may need a lawyer.
Oh, I'd love to, but I don't think I can. Now, why do you need a lawyer?
I'll let Roy explain. I hope to see you later.
Okay.
Bye, love.
Bye, Mom. Hey, babe. Where you been?
At the castle. What was that all about?
Well, Mom wants to take a job at Memorial as a nurse's aide, and she's going to break the word to Pop tonight, and she wants you there as a backup.
Well, it sounds great, but I don't think I can. I'm going to be flying to Egypt soon.
Egypt?
Yeah, Duncan's asked me to go.
You going to Egypt with Duncan?
Not with him, Roy, representing him.
Huh. That sounds a little better.
You know, and I don't know why it should matter. I told you before, Duncan is only a client, and that's all.
Look, Jessica, I have known Duncan a long time, and I do not trust him as far as I can throw him, all right?
The question is, do you trust me?
Yes, but I am very relieved to know that you're not going with Duncan.
You know, this really blows my fuse. Now, I hadn't decided whether or not I was going to take this trip, but I think I will because I need to do some thinking about us. And I think you do, too.
What's that mean?
It means maybe we're just too different to make this relationship work. Maybe, for us, love just isn't enough.
Oh, Nancy, you and Mac are creating such wonderful vibrations around you. Your romance is an inspiration to those of us who know you.
Well, my dear, I'm glad if Dan and I are creating all of that.
Oh, you are. In fact, I'm sure I'm going to be able to talk Earl into coming back from Egypt, just for the wedding.
Really?
Yes. Ah, Egypt, the land of mystery. Uncle Earl and I had such merrier adventures there in the old days.
Oh, well, I don't know what it's going to be like as far as his adventures are concerned right now. Not very marvelous, I'm afraid, not as long as James Stembeck is in the picture. Oh, speaking of pictures, reminds me. Your portrait, darling, what are we going to do with it? I'm afraid it's going to get damaged, just stuck over there. Thank you.
Gosh, I don't know what to do with it. It's such a downer. Just looking at it reminds me of the castle, and Colin, Margaret, the trouble we went to exorcise her ghost.
Oh, Shannon, you're not really serious about a ghost.
Au contraire, Nancy. I thought when I successfully laid her spirit to rest that I would soon be Mrs. McKechnie. What a romantic fool I was.
Well, I hope I'm not too early.
No, you're just in time. We've worked out a date for Nancy's shower. Now, all I have to do is get in touch with Bob and coordinate the bachelor's party.
I thought this was going to be a quiet little family affair.
Well, Dan, I'm afraid for that you have to have a quiet little family.
Well, we may have to elope yet. Let's go price a ladder.
Oh, about your time. You are so bad. You wouldn't deprive all your friends and family of such a wonderful occasion as this, would you?
We'd better talk this over in private, my
Yes,
dear.
right, in private.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, dear.
Yes. Okay, my darling, what are we going to do with this portrait?
Oh, you know, there are some happy memories associated with this, too. I mean, that's, after all, why I went to the castle to get it back. Until I realized what a flea-bitten Casanova Duncan really was. I have an idea.
Oh, no.
Yes. No, you're going to love it. I am going to gift wrap this and deliver it personally to that double-dealing Scotsman.
Why isn't there a painting here?
Well, we've tried several of the family portraits, Lilith, but we haven't found the right one.
There isn't a picture of the current Mrs. McKechnie. Perhaps you should commission one.
Well, don't you think we should see how things go?
Oh, Duncan, it doesn't really matter if we divorce or not. I've been your wife for 12 years. I've certainly earned a place in the family gallery. Yes, why don't you find an artist to paint me? I would love that.
Excuse me, sir. There's a delivery at the door.
Excuse me.
looking at me that way, Teresa. I'm no longer your patient.
I was only thinking how well you're looking, Lilith.
Really? I thought I saw something else in your eyes. It's amazing how much I understand now that I'm no longer in that horrid prison. I know why you left so suddenly.
I had a better offer.
Really? As a housekeeper? No. There was a man involved. You were in love with Dr. Silvestri, but he was so besotted with me he couldn't even see you or Megan.
I have other things to attend to, Lilith. Duncan will be back soon.
Hello, Roderick. I'm calling you from my husband's castle in Oakdale. Never better, but I have a warning for you. If your chum Stenbeck is still in Alexandria, I suggest he keeps well out of sight. You're about to receive a visit from Duncan's very attractive attorney. She's going to go over your books. Roderick, I'm warning you. Don't discuss any of our conversations with her or anything that happened while I was in Egypt, because if you do, I might have to tell the authorities exactly what happened to Dr. Silvestri.
All right. Please leave a message for Isabella that Tonio Reyes called and that I look forward to continuing our conversation over some drinks. I will call back. Thank you. What are you doing here, Meg?
I just finished my last class. I thought maybe we could talk.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid you picked a bad day. I was just about to call you and tell you I'll be late tonight.
Where's Emily?
Having lunch with clients? Why?
Is everything okay? You were so quiet on the way back from the farm, and when Josh walked in with me after we were looking for Lily, you acted strange.
Look, I've made my feelings very clear about Rod to you. Yet you seem to value your friendship with him more than your relationship with your husband. In fact, the more I see you with him, the more I wonder just how innocent is this friendship.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
My psychology professor would say anyone who is that quick to accuse is probably working from their own guilty conscience.
Are you accusing me of something? Are you? Because if you are, I'm sick of this. Just come out and say, what are you accusing me of, huh?
You're hurting me.
John, when does the pilot say you're actually touched down? Okay, well, I'll have champagne waiting. Me too. Bye, Doc.
I called the private investigator to tell them that Lily was safe. I guess I better call Roy, too, right?
Kirk, I just am so very impressed. But how you been on top of this whole situation? You've had all the vital information about Lily right at your fingertips.
Well, filing away details is a big part of the business.
Adelaide teach you that?
No. I taught her.
Oh.
Why are you so suddenly preoccupied with Adelaide?
I just think it's very strange that you two are still in touch.
Well, I assure you that whenever I speak to her, it's not about business. You pay me, you have my loyalty. And I'll make a deal with you. If you don't mention Adelaide, I won't mention any of your past relationships, like James Stenbeck.
I'm ignoring that remark. I'm attributing that remark to unrequited love. I'm going to lunch. I hope I'll be in a better mood when I return.
Why are you trying to talk me out of meeting Jared Carpenter?
Yeah, it's me.
Yes?
Is this Jared Carpenter's residence?
Yes.
And what do you want?
I'd like to see him.
I'm sorry. Mr. Carpenter sees no one without an appointment.
Well, I have called several times and left messages. It's very important that I speak with him.
I'm afraid that's impossible.
Could you please tell him that my name is Ida Snyder and that he may be my father?
Mama, now look, you haven't slept all night. Take a nap.
Caleb, I can't sleep. I think that Ida might be with Jared Carpenter right now.
Mama, Iva's probably not even there yet. Now, so worrying is not going to help anything.
Okay, I'll make a deal. I'll go to sleep. I'll take a little nap. If you promise to call me if Ida calls, okay?
I promise. Then
All
you
right.
go to sleep.
I will.
All right.
Kill.
Lily. I'm glad you're back. We were worried about you. How do you feel? But you're going to get all dirty.
I'm sorry. I feel so foolish for running away like that. Listen, I want to talk to Holden. Did you get the number?
Yeah, it's right down the pad. I got it from Henry Lang himself.
Oh, thank you, Caleb. I know that must not have been easy for you. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I know how important it was to you. Listen, Lily, I'm not so sure you want to call Holden.
Why?
Well, I guess I should tell you. Angel's with him.
Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. By Regina Porter.